Salutations, I'm StereoLotus77, and today we've got a stupid build for you guys. So we got the HotFoot SETI. Y'all know this weapon, this piece of garbage. Yeah, we're using it. So what this weapon does, what its unique effects are, is the longer you hold the trigger, the more damage it deals, up to I think about 90% increased damage at consistent firing. And it chains up to 3 other enemies with its flame, and they all have to be chained to the same person. And so usually chaining items work really well with the Racer, because when you're landing crits and you're chaining, you're already piercing, so you're just getting the guaranteed Eraser procs and guaranteed free damage. Running a Hustler to complement that for that increased crit damage, as well as getting pseudo crits for it to proc Eraser. And here's the rest of the items. And here's the rest of the builds. Mostly movement speed stuff. Donnybrook is overrated. Brain Freeze is a lot of fun. More crit. Cooldown. Elemental damage. Movement speed damage. And we're going to be listening to some Touhou 6 music and getting lore dump on that. Alright, there we go. Video started. The first song that's listed on here is Scarlet Beyond a Crimson Dream.
Oh, one of my favorites. I remember first hearing that in a fan game. It was the Luna Knights one, when we play as Sakia. It's a Castlevania, a Metroidvania kind of game. I've always enjoyed that track. So yeah, like I said, if you ever learn about these tracks, one of the best ways is Zune himself. He always has notes that he leaves in the game themselves. I don't know where you can go to easily find them. Well, they are in there. You can probably find them if you just look hard enough. They usually one of the methods he does to compose is actually make his games is where he'll compose the music first, and then he'll kind of design like the characters around it.
Ooh.
So the music is always made first, which is why it's so good and why it fits so well in the game, because it's kind of what fucking shapes it.
Yeah.
It's a really unique approach, and I really love that. Scarlet of a Mystic Dream. So something to know is there's kind of this overarching melody throughout like all the games. I think it's called like the story of like the Eastern Wonderland theme. Shit, I forget what we call it. It's like da 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 da. It's like 6 notes that will repeat a lot. I don't think it's super obvious in that one, but it's in like every like first track, which is a tiles like the tile music. It's always like some arrangement. In some tracks, it's more obvious. In some, it's not as much. I forget which one. There's like a couple that's like really obvious to tell apart. I know it appears in like the first game, too. But it's a nice thing. It kind of keeps like consistency throughout each of them. My dog is barking. I can hear her.
A soul as red as ground cherry.
I forget that one. I know the next one. Like I swear to God, like half the Touhou tracks, like I'm just like you tell me the name, I'm like I don't know what that one is. I'm like hear the music, I know it perfectly. Then I'll just hum the melody. Not much to say on the first couple ones.
I'm gonna turn this up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about the Red as Soul as Cherry. I don't listen to it that much, but it is a good one. It is kind of nice. The next one, I do quite like the next one. Oh my God, they got the MIDI files though.
Say what?
That's great. The fucking wiki has like the MIDI files for the song. Cause Oh, okay, here it is. Actually, yeah, I found it is on the wiki. Okay, it's a little easier. Shooting name, please. Like how he comments, for that matter, is having a song on the title screen even necessary at all? What's even necessary? A thing to know about this game, Embodiment of the Scarlet Devil. I mean, obviously, the title is Touhou Project, which kind of translates to like Eastern Project. It's heavily based in like Japanese and more East Asian like mythology, lore, and stuff like that. Which, of course, that was because it's departure from typical shooters, which are more militaristic, futuristic, sci-fi. He wanted to create something unique. Embodiment of Scarlet Devil is a bit more Western. The location is a Western mansion. The main villains are like vampires with Western names. Of course, you know, characters like Sakia is Japanese, and she's a reference to Dio, who I guess Dio is a Western character, but from a Japanese manga. And then Hong Mei Ling, who is just Chinese. I don't know why.
Because why not?
Characters like Rumia. I think her name. I think people say like her name is based off like Lumia, which is close to like what's the Roman word for light? Of course, you know they can't pronounce L, so it's an R. But kind of like an ironic bit because she can she's kind of like a yokai of darkness. There's Cyrano, the funny blue one. I think everyone knows what she is now. I don't know what she really has or why she was put in there.
Rumia's
of course,
theme,
after that,
apparitions stalk the night.
Stalk the night. I actually quite like this one. It's quite upbeat. Gets you like really pumped up to fight the first boss. It's a great job of like setting the mood. It's just like let's get into this. First boss fight. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we have the words for her.
Those are the song. Turn it blue.
Let's listen to Zune's commentary on this. Rumia's theme, not just this, but all the music this time is meant to be light. This comes from an image of yokai of the night, or at least I hope so. It's fairly relaxed and a little silly. Man. What else to describe about the music? I mean, there is. Oh yeah, it's a Sage 2 one. I'm not really the biggest fan of it. Kind of forgettable, but at least every track after this, I know a bit, because they're actually quite good. Next one is certainly the funny one. I wanted to make it stupid. As you have to say the Sage 2 theme, I thought of Water and Mist. Oh yeah, this one, like you're going over a huge lake, the Misty Lake, you fight some berries, including syrup. It's a nice berry, it's much fun water. This is also back when he was still kind of making like mid-bosses who just don't have a name and just don't show up. There's this like green little fairy who the fans have called Daiose, which just means big fairy. There's another one in stage 4, which is just a little demon girl. That's called Coke, one of my fans. He just kind of did the thing where he would just have a character that just doesn't have a name, doesn't have dialogue. Opposed to like Touhou 18, where stage 5, 6, and extra stage has a mid-boss. It's the same mid-boss for all 3 stages, and she has multiple lines of dialogue and is named. Not an actual boss, mind you, but gets to be the mid-boss for 3 stages of it.
Holy heck.
So like they kind of an upgrade from like unnamed characters. Of course, nothing beats the most unnamed character of all being Orange. Who is just question mark when you first fight her. Only gets named I think in the after credits if I'm correct.
Huh.
His name's Orange. Silly little bugger. There's a lot of little quirks he has with how he uses it, or how he does his characters. Sometimes, especially in the horror games, sometimes it'll just be like an irrelevant character that show up. That appears once, is never talked about again. And because it's early Touhou and there weren't that many characters, the fans would love them. You'll notice a lot in Touhou fan works, a lot of the older characters are going to get a ton of attention. Well, mostly the ones from Touhou 6 onwards. The first 5 games just don't exist for half the population. Probably because you have that fucking... gotta have a goddamn... computer science degree to get that shit to work. It's like the PC operating system. It's not that hard, and there's easier ways, but it's not super easy. Even some of the older Windows games, like they were only meant for like Windows operating systems at the time, so getting them to work can be a little difficult, and there are some issues.
That makes sense.
Look up like
Ooh,
90
this is a good
FPS
song.
Touhou.
I like this one. Cerno's
Is it-
theme, beloved
Cerno,
tomboyish girl.
Also known as Tomboyish Girl in Love. Here's his comments on it, it's quite funny. Cerno's theme. I actually did think of a dim-witted girl for this. However, I don't know if what came out can be considered bright or dark. The tempo is pretty fast. And in some other comments, I wanted to make a stupid sounding song, so it started by making the title sound stupid. The sound of the words and the look of the character are a bit stupid. At the same time, I mixed in a piano melody that gives an exotic feeling to the person. Yeah, she's a little stupid if you can't tell. She's a little stupid fairy. It's quite a repeated melody, but it's very catchy.
Yeah, I like it.
It fits her very well in all her depictions.
I used this in one of my previous videos, this one, and I very much enjoyed it when I got to this one. I replayed it.
There's this one remix from one of the fighting games, Soku 12.3, and I really enjoy that one. It's like da 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 da. It had like the trumpets come in, the synthetic trumpets. There's like this bass section, and it's just so good. I love the bass. It's so well with the speakers, my headphones especially. Oh my god.
I feel like this theme very much fits the stupid stuff I do in Borderlands.
It does. It's a silly theme. It's so good for just shenanigans. Like, you could just put it on as like a montage of stupid stuff happening, and it would fit pretty well. It really could. Cerna's a character who gets a lot of love. I mean, she's an iconic meme at this point. She's known outside of Touhou fans. I mean, heck, she got to be a playable character in Touhou. She got her own game, like where she's like the star, like she's the character, and then she got to be a playable character in a main Touhou game 16.
Ooh.
So like she's popular.
I think my goal for one of my goals for next year is going to be play through all the Touhou games, like all the mainline Touhou games.
That's fair. I mean, the other ones are like fighting games. And there's some of the spin-offs. I mean, the spin-offs are worth it. I would actually try to play all of them. Maybe excluding the fighting games. You know, you can try them out if you want to, but... The
fighting games are going to go on the Steam Deck, and they're going to be made into the couch co-op games.
The couch co-op, nice, yeah.
That's the strat.
I know you can buy a couple of them officially on Steam. It's not just the fighting games, the mainline games, although they are a bit pricey. If you really want to, I would just like... You can remember that too.
Shanghai Tea House Chinese tea.
Yes. This is one of the better ones. This one also gets remixed in Hisoten Soku, and it's also really good, because you can play as her. I really like this one. Of course, like I said, this game was intended to be a bit more Western feel to it, and this is kind of the one point where he just said, fuck it, and just made it feel Chinese. I actually want to talk about the name Shanghai, and especially Shanghai Alice. If you ever look at like the copyright, like the information for these games, they are made pretty much by Zune, but they always say made by Shanghai or Team Shanghai Alice. It's like it's a registered dojo, so the name itself is supposed to be kind of a contradictory one. like an oxymoron because it's supposed to be a combination of Eastern and Western, where even the name Shanghai, it's a city in China that was once occupied by the British and has a lot of cultural connections to both, kind of a mixing of both. And Alice is of course a Western name, but like probably the most famous story of someone named Alice is Alice in Wonderland, which is surprisingly popular in Japan. In fact, actually, there's a character, Alice Murgatroyd.
Yo, wait, there's an actual use for this weapon. Hold up. I apologize. I have found an actual use for one of the most worthless weapons in this video game.
Goddamn.
It pierces Wotan's barrier, and it has unlimited range the moment it locks onto an enemy.
Wow, I can pierce this barrier anywhere. So useful.
Well, it's helpful for the players who don't, who are not, honestly, like, the ones who are not able to, like, jump onto the towers without just dying.
Fair, I guess. I guess if you need to if there's ever a need to pierce his barrier at ground level,
I mean, like, the spade is a better weapon for doing that, because it also does
if you're ever out of bounds, but you need to kill him.
Yes, this would do that too, although the root is a better option for an out-of-bounds kill. But yeah, you can do that.
If you're at ground level, and I don't know what the root is, but if you couldn't use it, you're out of bounds to the point where you're very far away, you could do that.
You just have to get close enough to lock onto him first.
Lock on, fair. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, this is a very super dumb weapon that has an extremely niche use case. It also can be used on chain builds, so there is that. It can chain, although it's not very good at it. It doesn't deal too much damage. The dot damage isn't very good, but it got through Maliwan Takedown with breaking 0 sweats. There was no worry of me going down or dying at all. Other than one time that I completely just failed to play the video game.
Fair.
And it wasn't the weapon's fault, it was 100% my fault, and I didn't even go down. So this weapon's actually pretty reliable. It's not bad, it's just not good damage. It's really good at keeping you alive while you're playing a lifesteal build. It deals enough damage to keep you alive and chains, so you can do freezing stuff and keep everybody frozen to the ground. So you pair that with like a frozen heart, and you will always keep everything frozen to the ground. And yeah, that's the end of the showcase here.
Good job. That was surprisingly smooth, no issues.